Hey there, welcome back to another video. Thanks for coming to have a look. So today I'm going to continue on the VGA refactor of my operating system. So today I am wanting to, if we look at where we were last time, so we've got this kind of new term class that we can resize things to say ridiculously small and still kind of scroll about in them, and we can resize back to, I don't know, something a bit bigger, but one thing we can also move, so say if we move to 5.5, that will kind of shift it over. So this is kind of the starting of a window manager. But the thing that we got working yesterday, I think it was yesterday, was scrolling back down. But one thing that doesn't work is colors. So you can see here the color is kind of a bit messed up. It keeps the color of the line before and doesn't change. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But that's the bug that we're going to be fixing today. And you can see if you scroll up, it just resets to the base font. So we want to make it so when you scroll, color is doing the right thing. One thing I might do, where is doing that? Yeah, so we'll look in term, got a little to-do for me. But I will also config that out manually. It makes the noise whenever I push a scroll when there's nothing to scroll. So like here I scroll up and it would be making a beep, and if I scroll down now it would be making a beep, but it's not. But anyway, back to business. I'll get rid of this to do because we are doing. So what we need to do is, so there's a function term put char at, and that uses this term font. I like how we just say for now do this, but don't have any idea on what we were going to do. But what I do want to do is this term font, I'm going to change it to be like that, I think. Except not that, because we're not on C. Do something like that and term font. Where is it? What we'll do, yep, so this thing here, we will change this to default, and we will add a new guy that just points to that to start with. Right, so that's kind of the first thing we need to do. Just wondering what this is now. So that's when we move. Yeah, so we do want to kind of clear that. We'll come back to that one. And the other one. Right, so font reset. Yep, so this function here, what I kind of want to do is, I suppose we can, make it good for the future. So what we want to do is, actually no, keep that where it is, because it could be configurable, which in fact we'll actually do. Make this a config option. But to start with, what we will do is do something like that and move to term font. This new one, term font default. Font default. Yeah, so we. I don't really want to do that everywhere. So what I might do is put that here and yep, and into 0, 0. Cool. And we'll I might actually just make that lots more spaces, but kind of sticks with the original style. Right, so when we're resetting, we're just setting it to that. Now, what do we want to do here? We'll leave that one. Yeah. I'm just saying there's multiple ways of doing it. I'm not talking as much as I usually do. But yeah, so what I want to do here is actually make a new font. On this DD term font default, I'll find it. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, so what I want to do is we want to. I suppose we can just do that. Malloc size of font attribute. So we basically want to get some new chunk of memory that we're gonna do. And then it's just already in the AX, and the state comes from up there. Yeah, that's perfect. And we should probably do like a. Yeah, that's what we do. And if that is null, then we want to go to some kind of error. And if that happens, we will just turn it cold panic for now. That's like easy. Error once it gets annoying, and I fix it. And we don't want to go there all the time. Potentially for like optimal code, you wouldn't have it like in between this return. You would kind of have it after, and then if it returned, you would jump back to the return. That way, like pipelines are in better shape. They don't have to get flushed, because yeah, pretty much every time you jump, they'll flush, I believe. Right, so that's kind of what we want to do. So it does pad out these a bit. I wonder. Yep, that looks good. And get rid of that. And it's probably like done heaps. We will have one more, but what to do? this. That one. Yeah, I think that's that. Right. That's not all we need to do. We also need to move to term font. That font that we just set in all these places. We just want one. No, we don't need it there. That's just setting up the defaults, and we don't actually call that anywhere. So where do we do term font reset? Ignore those two for now. That one's good. Yeah, so here we want to term font set up default. Yep. And then we're back here. So now if we go back to this, I wonder if that's actually just fully fixed now, because I did this change here. I might get rid of that. We're not at, we are falling through. Yes. I wonder if it just works. We already do panic somewhere. Oh goodness. Extern. Right, that's cool. 877. There's probably a few of those. I should set up a thing. Oh, there wasn't. Cool. So now if I do just color, oh, it does something different. It's definitely not quite right. And yeah, when we scroll back, it yeah. Oh, that was spooky. Oh, and it still did that weird thing when we yeah. Alright, there's still some bugs with the scrolling. Yes, there are bugs. Right, what I might do is coding. Yep. Cool. So what I might want to do is if we do a little debug. And we'll just continue for now and do a test color and break here. And break on term put char at. Yeah, I reckon that's probably a good place. And now if we push enter, we'll have to do a few things. Right, let's change what we're doing a display on. So let's just undisplay everything. So we want to know what color we are at the moment. So if we go to font, let's do this with X for now. So term font has a thing, and that is a pointer. It should be. How do you do this? I guess we can just call it an star. No, that went too far. Yeah, what is term font default? It's like that value, but currently we have like A7C1. It printed stuff good up until then. So yeah, this term font. So we set like foreground color. Well, we set both colors. So yeah, I think maybe we will first do that. What if we yeah, get rid of all the breakpoints for now. If we did that again, cool. Right, so what I might do is instead of break on font set color, do foreground, I guess. Now if we continue that, so now it should do it. So it's cleared a line and it's printing a character, but it's done the ANSI escape. So now it's like setting the color. So what do? We call malloc with a size of like 10 bytes. What does malloc give us? Malloc gives us a address. What is term font at the moment? Right, so it's that, and if we look at what that was, it's just something completely different. But it was printing right. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Do we have any displays at the moment? No. So I think we do want to just look at that term font. I mean, really, it's like a struct font, but we don't really know what that is. I think we do like a. We can just call it insta. So it's pointing to an integer, which it's not like really. It's pointing to how big is it? Well, it's pointing to like 10 bytes worth. So that's like. What do you want to do? Like one more. Like that looked similar to what we had there. Yeah, cool. That's good. But we want to look at what's at that address. Sometimes we need it, sometimes we don't. It's alright. I don't. No, it's just all zero. Well, I guess this one we have some stuff. So we get the foreground color is apparently 0. Maybe I'll skip to the next time we do this, because I think it does. Yeah, so this one's for display 9 and 10 and 11. point here we have a color which is 4, and we are looking at EAX, which is that. Do something like that. Display 13, and we do another one. That's not what I want to do. Yeah, so let's set that to 4. Cool. And here we should see term font change to be that number there, which it did. Then we leave. I think at this point we'll set up the breakpoint for the put chart ad. So here we're pointing to the same thing. We're getting that. We do like lots of stuff in put chart. So we got the attribute in EBX apparently. Yep, that looks about right. That there is the same as what we should be printing, and it should have a color 4. And now I believe we do VGA put char out, which I think we need to go to sadly. Put char at, because this does have this like get color from attr, which yeah, so get this big, so it will call this get char from attr. Right, so EAX is the one for C15. Cool, that's good. That's what we want. So we clear that, and then CL is going to be 4. This is looking good, and our background should be whatever it got set to. So nothing, I guess. The blink is not set. We do all the things, and we shift it all about. We work out where to put it, and we put it. So that, yeah, it didn't set like something of it. Maybe if we, I suppose I didn't need to do that, but yeah, maybe if we instead break on scroll, yep, that one will do. Is that what I want? Yeah. Test color. So it hasn't set the background right. So I think I took a screenshot of what it's meant to look like. Yep, that one there. Right, if we look at that, so it's meant to look like that. So I guess up to like the 70 it's right, but then the background's not changing. Oh, I think I know why. Yes, rain just has a bit of a rain file, I guess. So if we look back at the term background color, so what's happening is we kind of need a term copy, which we can do up here. Right, so if we go just term copy, what this is going to do is it's going to return a struct term error, I think it is. It's going to be called that, and it's going to take nothing. Yeah, what is going to happen is we are going to call malloc here. So I guess we can. It's going to simplify a bunch of code, because what we can do is do that. Leave and ret. Cool. Yep. So here we do the malloc here, and then we almost want to do like a. I guess we can just do a mem set, mem copy, and that is dist source n. So the dist is going to be eax, which and it returns it, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Cool. Right, and the source is going to be whatever is in term font at the moment, and the size of font. Right, so at this point here, does it return an error? No, I think it just panics out of it, like can't do anything. I don't think it. Yeah, I think it'll just cause like a fault actually, maybe. Right, so I think that's all we want to do. Yeah. And here we just need to now do term copy and not worry about errors. We're just taking the errors out there. That's yeah, so what was happening was it was not keeping the other things that we had set. So like when you set the background, it would overwrite what the foreground we set to before, which isn't what we want. Yep. And this is like quite kind of terrible in a way, memory wise, because a lot of the times we'll set the background, then we'll set the foreground, then we'll set the blank, then we'll set the bold, maybe we'll set a bunch more things, but we never actually use any of the old memory because I guess it hasn't been printed. So yeah, I guess term copy can kind of handle that, I think. I'll go back up there. Now, yeah. Cool. So here, like, if the if the current font hasn't been printed yet, just not. Otherwise, lots of memory is allocated but never actually used. Yeah, I think that's probably the best place to do it, and then everything just kind of blindly calls term copy, assumes it's getting a copy, and I guess it's a copy of the thing that was before it. Like it's a copy of the last printed thing. with any modifications. Yeah, we might change it from copy to something else like current working. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, let's see what happens if we do this old guy. Color. Test color. That's looking better. Well, it's looking the same as what it was, I guess. Yeah, so I think if we actually run this thing, in term moves 0, 0, that's not a good thing. Term resize, I'll hide the evidence. 25 by 40. 40 by 25. 80 by 25. I need to add more key bindings to the shell. I'm trying to do stuff I would be doing in the main one. I think I might have done too much now. I suppose that kind of, yeah, so it does the right thing when it's meant to, but then it's still got the scrolling thing because we haven't actually changed any of the scrolling. What I might do is that's right. That's one of the things I said I would deal with later, which maybe now is later. Yeah. So yeah, I think we want to do a set font set. I think we want to do that sort of thing. Oh no, we can. I mean, really, the window manager should be done doing this. So yeah, maybe because of that, I will do this and I guess yeah. Here's what we'll do. And this we can get from where we had this, not there, this one, and we can just have another kind of static allocation of that, and when we now try and call this, which isn't actually a thing, what we can do is just move font to that, and we probably need to do the word of that, and then we will reset it, which will set it back to what it was. Yes. And then we'll redraw, and we do that there as well. That's alright. Yeah. So, what does that tell us? That was fixing this to move 0, 0. Cool, so now that's black. Sort of like a little flicker there. So it kind of repainted this square here black, and then went up here and then repainted this whole thing, and I saw a flicker there of the cursor. Really, we should, I guess, yeah, the cursor's operated separately from the buffer, so what we should be doing is not really drawing to the buffer directly, but kind of double buffering and then just updating the final output, because like this square here, like the Venn diagram intersection of where it was and where it is, doesn't really need to get drawn twice, and like all these characters, they don't need to have like these ones will have had black drawn in, then green drawn in, then the text in the white color. So like that got drawn 3 times to the actual display, which like if you slow down the display somehow you'd see that. So that's where double buffering would help reduce kind of the flickering. But anyway, we fixed that little bug with the resize, and now what we need to do is get to adding to the scroll buffer. So when we're like doing a scroll, goodness, what's that message? Yeah, if we're like, that's if we're resizing smaller. I think we've tested that and it kind of just works. Oh no, that's like, yeah, trying to be smart about how we resize. Like say if we kind of resize that to be smaller, poor man style, it doesn't actually change anything, but I guess that's because it wasn't that. But yeah, I guess if we're there, alright, so that's kind of what that does. It shifts down, but like if you're at the bottom and you resize, you want it to stay at the bottom. But yeah, anyway, it can be whatever I kind of think seems more natural. If that doesn't, because I think I want it to be more natural than how that was doing it. More intuitive of like this was where you were before you resized, so you probably want to keep that view the same, which might be tracking in the middle, but then like having some detection of whether you're at the end. So if you're at the end, it always. But anyway, that's like a side joke. I just saw a tutu and thought I'd comment on it. I was searching for scrolling. That's right. We really just wanted to. Yeah, right. So term add to scroll buff. So this is adding a character to scroll buffer. Is what we do there. So what we want to do is in the scroll buff we kind of want to have the character and then also a pointer to the font structure really. Yeah. I might just make a mark there and go down to that struct. What would I even call it? It like returns the pointer to the struct. And then if we go back to that pointer, yeah, look at that, marks and things. Yeah, so what we want at I suppose yes. That I think I might make 2 scroll buffs rather than trying to like interleave them, which might be good, might not be. Man, we mentioned that quite a few places. And what I'll do is like font buff. Can have the same capacity. I think it was like 100k. And then here we want to so we get the cursor offset. We see whether we go over. We haven't, so yeah, I might move ECX to EDX and add ECX to mul ECX by word size is probably we don't use it yet, but I think that's what I call it. Word size, yeah. So it's only if we include that kernel, which we don't. Oh, we do at the top there. I don't really want to make the commit messy. Where were we? Here. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of a bigger buffer. What we call it, font buff. I think I want to do word size times that, so it's going to not be 100 KB. KB is going to be 400. Just makes it easier, I guess. That way this check doesn't really have to change, because we're just checking whether the index is the same, and I might kind of do that like that, and then move ECX, or that's the other way around, font, yep. So we'll have to do something like that, and ECX, can't do like moves between memory addresses because of the way the old buses work. So you have to pull it out into a register, then push it back in. Right, so that is going to get rid of that one. Yes, that way, like, it doesn't actually break anything just doing that one change. So I can still kind of, alright, that does break things. That breaks things because of, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, I'll make this tiny bit smaller. Cool, that still works. So like, things still work. There's like kind of memory issues. I'm using some stuff with static memory, so like the size of the disk is just getting quite ridiculous. And that's hitting some limit because I don't have a hard disk driver. I just read my disks using the BIOS, and that has some issues with it, I guess. When not basically, I've had this kind of issue before, and it's not loading the whole disk, the whole kernel, so then it's trying to run stuff that doesn't exist, and then it, in essence, triple faults because it gets into that reboot loop, doesn't know what to do, and there's no code for it. So yeah, we'll go back here. But yeah, so it still works even though we did this. So now what we want to do is when we're like redrawing a line, I think is where we do it. Yeah, because like the put char and stuff, it's kind of funny. This refactored thing that I've made, I almost need to refactor this term driver now because it's got like multiple kind of different things going on in it. I almost want to have like include files for now, or maybe break it out into what's the window manager functionality and what's not. But yeah, this redraw line I think is what we're doing. Yeah, so we like pass it an offset, which is just the same offset as the scroll bar, and when we go term output, we send. Yeah, so we're just reading a byte there. So I think I need to edi and I've got an idea on some more videos that might include what I just did, because if I didn't do that, bugs would happen, and they're kind of preventable bugs, which that is what I kind of want to do. Yeah, I'm going to do this a real janky way. What do we do with this EBX character? We do kind of use it as a count. When do we use it? Oh, we return it, don't we? Yeah, we return that as the new offset that we have. Yeah, but yeah, so if we do that, yeah, we're going to be overriding that, so that's cool. And we do this jankiness, basically get index into the current font, and that's an EDI, which is normally used as like the string destination, but it just happens to be you only get like 3 registers that don't get affected when you call things, so otherwise I'd have to like push things and pop them around this call to term output. And what's in a name? What is in a name? So I think I can probably just do something like this, and I think I don't even need to do that. So when we do this LODSB, I think we need to do words do that as well. Yeah, we definitely do need to think about freeing. Focus. And front copy, was it? Copy. Yeah, we need to change that. Yeah, cool. Let's go back to. Oh, it's not everywhere. Were we there? No. We had just done term output. We were calling it. Oh, we do it in a few places. What do we call it here? That's input jar. Yep, cool. Yep. Goodness, I think we need to like. Oh, we do pass in a attribute. Cool. Where do we do this guy? Yep, cool. Struct. Like font pattern, I think it is. CX looks good. So here we want to get what we call a error, and here we want to pass in ECX because that is the attribute that we actually want to print this at this particular time. Right, so here we call it with the font that we're like loading. So we're looking at an index and an array, and then we dereference it and get that address, and that's our font for that time. And when we're just normally printing, then we just want to get whatever the current font is. That looks good. Let's run that. Whew. Just kill it. Wow, it's something. It's kind of interesting. Use the up arrow. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting here. It is doing what the scrolling thing was doing before. So like this color was just what was printed a line above. No, how does that work? Yeah, that's coming from like there. So they're kind of coming from there. Oh yeah, that's kind of weird. I'm trying to just think how it's happening, but I can kind of see that at that point it is clearing, but then it's still getting that, which is kind of spooky. But yeah, so the scrolling isn't working first time. I mean, we can't always be hopeful. So I think I need to have a think on. We need to do some debugging. Goodness, has that just been running for like hours? Well, not hours. Let's do a reset because that feels like it broke something. Let's actually tools debug.gdb and yeah, let's go in with nothing to like remove. So we get here. I think I want to break on scrolling down. I also want to break on term add to scroll buff. Yeah, that's the one. So that I can see that things are changing. And like the right thing's getting put in the right place. And then I guess I want to look at not term output, but this one here, which is term redraw line break, term redraw line. So like before I got these debug statements, I would have had to been like in the code, yep, I want to break at this point and use this int 3 to do it. So it's so much better having these terminal things. If you're interested in how I did that, I've got a few videos on the process. Right, so I think that's that. I think I also want to display that one to see what the current font is. Yeah, I think maybe just leave it at that. And then say if we do so we're like adding to the scroll buff. Maybe we don't want to break on that just yet. So do breakpoint 3, test color. Right, so at that point it's printed fine, and now we're going down a line. I guess I wanted to turn on that breakpoint after, well, just when I pushed enter, well, just before, but it is probably a good point, because the scroll will oh, I've done that, can't do that. Yeah, I wonder what that does with the recording the video. It looked like, yeah, cool. That crashed. Yeah, so let's set up that display, and we'll break on that one, and we'll break on that one, and we'll continue for now, and we'll write test color, and then we'll break on that one. Right, so it's adding to the scroll buff. Hopefully this font here. So if we like print font buff, yeah. So font buff is this 328AA, 8A. So that's the scroll buff. Scroll offset, yeah, that's checking whether it's -1. Because that is if we're drawing, we're not drawing. So now we check whether we've got too much things. We don't. So this 8A is, yeah, so that must be it. And then the 32A1 is our one. So this is, yeah, just the byte, and then we, right, so we're getting the index, so EDX, yeah, that's not right, add to scroll buff. Yeah, so what is happening here is we need to kind of set that there, because we change it like literally just there. So we need to make the copy up there, and then, yeah, I guess, like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird order, but we'll do it like that. And I reckon, well, let's run that. No debugging needed, because the scrolling works. So you see that, but it's got some weird artifacts here, which I do wonder whether that is, yeah, I guess when we do a new line, we don't want to print in what the color is, we want to print in what the, well, actually I don't know, kill that. So we'll do some like live hacking. So if we do something like that, and like 41, no, not that one, 41, 32 M high. So if we do something like that, we get that font. Yeah, so it doesn't like kind of fill the whole line like here, and say if after this we do a 42, 33 M type thing. Yeah, so it's keeping the background the same when we do the new lines. So I think that is what we will do when we do a term output new line, this one here. Where is it? Do the what? No, term output new line. Is it actually outputting anything? I guess that. I'm just not seeing that actually output a thing. All it does is increment the cursor and then check it. And if it hasn't gone over, then it just doesn't do it. So it doesn't actually like output anything. Goodness, how does it work? Everything just calls that. Yeah. So let's run that again. 0, watch some flickers. And if we resize that to what was it? 80.5. What resolution? So if we do test color here, yeah. So it's not doing it here. It's doing it right here. So it's only when we're kind of are in the scroll. So this new line business. So that's in redraw line. Scroll up line. Just seeing where it's. I think I want to go to start, then go there. Right. So. This is it. Yeah, so when we're redrawing a line and we get a new line, we're just incrementing ABX, which is the new offset of where we're at. We never actually output that new line, which is probably, yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think this term clear line, it should be using the so just put char. I feel like it doesn't need to call that directly. It could call term output, which is I feel term because what's this doing? It's clearing a line. I reckon this could be term output, and with the term font default, not a pointer because we just want the value of whatever address that is. To break there. Yeah, that looks perfect. It's doing a weird thing. I don't know if anyone saw that. I think it was from last time. Yeah, it wasn't doing last time, so it's not going to this bottom line here. yeah, so it kind of, we're not using that line, which I think if we go back those two changes, it was going to that line. So this term output doesn't do something that that put char does. Oh goodness, it's like put char's right and right, that's fine. Output tab, that's also fine. Backspace. There, so we'll have a look at the definition next. Yeah, so we've gone to the top. So it's only called in good places. But if we, yeah. So we check if we're redrawing. If we're redrawing, we still go to this ink row. It's not actually like incrementing anything, is it? Ah, there it is. Yeah, so it increments that. It's not really like the scroll that you would think. It's probably reading stuff that doesn't quite make intuitive sense. Yeah, I suppose we. What was it, output? Yeah. I wonder if we can just do that. Or like. Oh no, because this is like we're clearing it. Yeah, so I guess what we know is that change has stopped that scroll. Yeah, so it's like scrolling one too early. And it's only when we're like clearing a line. And we like reset everything. And when it was a put char, it did the right thing. I lost it. Turn font default. Oh, I suppose they put char like turn clear line. Where does that get called? It gets called and scroll down. Yeah, this would be why we're doing it. Yep. this one, we like increment the scroll bottom, but only if we're not redrawing, which, hold on, let's make that a mark. So we should be redrawing. We've set that flag. So we won't add it to the scroll bar. We will then check whether we've gone over if we had so if we have, then we increment the scroll bottom, which unless we draw it. I just call that same thing with the character that we have. Man, I'm quite curious as to where we go here. Butcher. What would we do like both? Does it do something weird? So just doing that kind of changes it. Oh goodness, we've written into a weird file. Cool, we've written to the right file again. I'm at a small loss as to why that does it, which is annoying because it will fix this kind of bug where we're scrolling down. I mean, as soon as we do that, it gets reset, except for that last line, which, yeah, so that's kind of just like an artifact when we scroll, and probably because it's on the last line is some tell that we do something weird. I might leave it there and come back to it when my brain can think on that a bit more. But I'll make a note. If we use term output directly, scrolling with colors when input goes down works. However, it will never put on the last line. If we do which the last line works, but it uses the current font, which looks weird. It also has glitches on the last line when scrolling back down manually. I wonder, yeah, so we've got picture out, so it should have that glitches. Test color. I literally just tested that, didn't I? I mean, that's definitely better than before I started, because like, look at those nice colours. But yeah, that, what if I do lots of spaces? Yeah, so that's bizarre. It does it like just before the cursor. Yeah, weird bug, that one. But yeah, what I might do is add that up. set up some defaults. That's saving the attributes. We won't commit that, but I'll keep it in the stash because it's annoying, but it's useful once you're using it, I guess. Adjustable volume would be good. Right, so our attribute now takes a font. We shove the font there, we shove the font there. Here's where the bug is, so we'll fix it a different day. Right, now we're using EDI now. What are we doing? Yeah, so we set EDI to be the index into the font buff. That can't change that because we took away this to do, I guess. Oh yeah, because that was aligning with the lots. So we increment that. We need to think about that. That looks good. And we'll get rid of that at the end. We set up a new font buffer. Right, now we added a bunch of stuff, didn't we? Here's the stage start. Yeah, so we have a thing set up the defaults. Our reset just sets that. Copy does a malloc, but with a fixed meter not. Yep, and then all of these should now call the copy, then set whatever state that we want, and set it as the active state. That's the background color, and I suppose I could split this and see it better. Yeah, so background color, and now we also have a black and a default, so the black's declare it, which really should be in a window manager, but that's alright. And then we have a pointer to it, and this is down the thing that should be in the util, the main gem main. So that is when we're moving, sorry. Yeah, so when we move, we clear the thing. Well, actually, I think I'll resize as well. Yeah, so we're doing both, and we get rid of that debugging. That's good to do. Alright, let's do that. Get colors scrolling. Mostly. Still one bug with new lines printing. No, it's more with clearing. Clearing a line uses the non-default color. And I'll probably fix that in 5 minutes when I just have a brain fart. So I push that to the kind of refactor branch, which I'll merge back in at some point. Oh, the internet is slowed. But yeah, that is pretty much all for today. Might just, I was just looking at this. That's a better way of doing it. Way down there. It's doing something weird. I've just kind of noticed that, yeah, it's resetting the character 1 before it should be. Because yeah, it should be 0, 0, then 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, and it's kind of showing what the foreground and background is. That's how this test kind of works. Looks like this side does it right. So but then this side it's doing something a bit funky. Like you see, these are 70 is all 1, but that's 07. So, because yeah, I'm not too sure what is up. That's not like scroll up and push enter, it like just thinks at the end. 0, 0, and resize 25, 1825. Just color. So that looks right before printing. So like that's just another weird thing with scrolling. Those look alright though, but as soon as we do that, yeah, so it all flips over. So the scrolling up still has a bug. So that that was a lie. It was more than one. But anyway, enough rambling. Thanks very much for watching my video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, hopefully the next one maybe I'll just fix all the bugs. This one took a bit longer than expected actually. I thought it would be reasonably straightforward, but there was some nuances which kind of suggest that I don't know, the refactor needs refactoring again, because I've made that term library quite large, but that can be a future Hughes problem, I guess. But yeah, that's all for now. Have a good day or evening wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video.